According to the Dominion research team, today's special unit can be nearly 10 feet tall, roughly 3 meters. That's a big roach. I think we're gonna need more raid.
Oh, very well.
The Roach is the Zerg's armored assault unit. They are morphed from larvae, so long as a Roach Warren exists on the map. Production cost of $75.25, build time of 19 seconds, 2 supply cost, 145 life, and 1 base armor. Their attack comes in the form of their acidic saliva, dealing 16 damage every 1.43 seconds at range 4. Fresh from the hatchery oven, all roaches come with a passive trait, rapid regeneration. While burrowed, roaches can quickly regenerate their health at a rate of 7 hit points per second. There are also 2 research options to be aware of, available at the Roach Warren once a lair is present on the map. Glial Reconstitution costs 100 and will increase the movement speed of all roaches from 3.15 to 4.2, a mandatory upgrade if you actually plan on having roaches in your composition. The second research is Tunneling Claws. Also 100. This will give all of your roaches the ability to move while burrowed. Their movement speed is reduced, but just think of the sneak attack possibilities. Ninja roaches. I also want to note that there is a visual cue for the Tunneling Claws upgrade. Take note of the crystals that are now present on the roaches' backs. That indicates to both you and your opponent that Tunneling Claws has been completed. So how would one go about using roaches? They are a bulky, durable, and relatively cheap unit. Since they can be fielded at Hatchery Tech, it is not uncommon to see many Roach Rush style builds. Although it is quite an investment, having 3 to 4 roaches show up to an in-progress command center can certainly put your opponent in a world of pain. In the mid to late stages of the game, they take on a more blunt force role. I like to say that Roach compositions tend to be a more bludgeon style of playing Zerg. Get a good enough economy together, and you can worry less about your micro of individual units. Simply keep up with your injects and assault your foe with wave after wave of roachy goodness. Roaches also pair very well with many other Zerg forces, since they tend to be a tough frontline unit. Commonly seen with less durable threats, such as Hydralisks or Banelings, the group can help to shore up each other's weaknesses. Finally, a quick note. Roaches can also be morphed into Ravagers, which are so cool and so different from the Roach that I gave them their own unit guide video. I'll be sure to put up one of those fancy cards so you can check it out. Roaches are a bit of an all-purpose ground unit. They're not really great at any one particular thing, but you get 30 to 40 of them together and they can cause some serious havoc. However, they are absolutely far from an unbeatable force. First of all, they're one of the most supply inefficient units that Zerg can make, since their primary purpose is to be durable. Just consider the fact that one roach could have been 4 banelings. Yikes. Other weaknesses include a single target attack, the armored tag, and low scalability. Your counterplay options will generally fall into one of 3 categories. You can overwhelm them, you can build a soft counter via an anti-armored force, or you can get a hard counter with an air-to-ground unit. Terrans, when thinking of counters, the question of what kind of roach play is this has to be asked. If you're dealing with an early roach rush, the Banshee is going to be your go-to best defense. A standard 1-1-1 opener will allow you the ability to tech lab the starport and get out a safety Banshee or 2. An alternative that is commonly seen at higher levels is the Cyclone, thanks to its powerful lock-on ability. It can work, but it takes a bit more control to pull off than the Banshees do. For a full-blown Roach composition, both Bio and Mech have options. With upgrades and stim, Marauders absolutely shred Roaches thanks to their bonus damage versus armored. Pair them with Marines and Medevacs to field a complete Bio army. For you mech lovers out there, siege tanks are going to be the top choice thanks to their incredible bonus damage they get versus armored, but I also want to highlight that Thors do very well too, against a lot of what Zerg has actually. It's kind of silly how good Thors are. Protoss, a standard Stargate opener, allows you numerous benefits going into the match, one of which includes what I like to call the safety Void Ray. Roaches have not evolved the ability to tilt themselves upwards and spit at air units, at least not yet, which means a Void Ray or 2 can be all you need to shut down early aggression, similar to the Terran's Banshee. For the later stages of the game, your counter choices may depend on what your own plan is. For the more aggressive hero-style players, Blink Stalkers may be fine to get the job done. They do have a bonus damage versus armored, and relatively good survivability thanks to their blink. For a more passive Death Ball style player, you may wish to incorporate more Immortals into your army, and perhaps some High Templar for Psystorm. Spell damage is unaffected by armor. If the Roach player is caught unaware, the effects may prove lethal. Zerg lovers, Roaches are the key ingredient to that perfect ZVZ mid-game where everything is just lobbing bodily fluids at each other. In the very early game, Speedlings can absolutely handle a few Roaches, but they suffer once the Roach count gets too high. Around the mid-game time, it's important to keep up your macro, because oftentimes the sad answer is simply more roaches or a better concave or better upgrades. Should you find yourself able to trudge out of that Roach Wars mud, go for Lurkers. Bonus damage versus armored, splash attack, and invisible without detection. What more could you want? A final note about our fan favorite, Mutalisk. It is common to see at least one player go for mutas in a ZVZ match, but do not make the mistake of thinking that mutas counter roaches. Mutas will force out spore crawlers and probably hydralisks from the opponent, but they do not counter roaches very well. The roach simply has too much life, too much armor. It doesn't have to care. The roach player can easily send their army across the map and have free run of your bases if all you have is the 10 mutas that your 2-base muta build allowed for. TLDR, muta counter roach? Yeah, technically, but also, no, not really, just build lurkers. One of the less iconic Zerg units, roaches still serve an ever-important backbone role for many a bug lover's composition. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful and that you have a great day.